I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world?
The heated atmosphere among BTS fans has once again intensified. This time, their focus has focused on one question echoing across social media: why is Taehyung being left alone? This issue emerged after the public saw the same pattern repeat itself. When a storm came crashing down on the artist's reputation, the agency remained silent. No statement, no clarification, no sense of responsibility. Taehyung is not a straightforward speaker. He is known for being calm, wise, and choosing to remain composed. But precisely because of this, the public feels he has too often harbored his wounds alone without any real protection. ARMY, the largest and most loyal fan community, is now speaking out. They feel this is not the first time Taehyung has been left to face pressure without institutional support. HYBE's silence is no longer seen as a strategy, but as neglect. Fans are not simply disappointed. They are hurt. They have witnessed the artist they love consistently demonstrate selfless dedication, only to be abandoned when he needs the most basic protection, proper defense. In many public moments, Taehyung has demonstrated loyalty and hard work. He showed up to schedules, smiled for the cameras, and remained professional even under attack. But the public was growing weary of seeing his kindness exploited without anyone truly protecting him. The media began to take notice of this spotlight. Several entertainment portals began highlighting the agency's role in the pressures its artists were under. HYBE's name came up in lengthy discussions, not as a protector, but as an entity that seemed too passive. Taehyung wasn't a new artist. He was part of the milestones that made the agency's name global. But in the eyes of fans, he now looked like a lone soldier, unshielded. A wave of criticism poured in from all corners of the world against HYBE. Armies created hashtag campaigns, sent digital protests, and even drafted open letters demanding clarification on the continued coldness. What they were demanding wasn't complicated. They simply wanted the agency that managed the career of an artist as prominent as Taehyung to show a little empathy. A little courage to stand by the person who had been their lifeline. Taehyung's own reaction remained the same. He didn't retaliate. He didn't make any insinuations or try to get sympathy. He simply continued his work, demonstrating the remarkable consistency of someone who perseveres under pressure. But that's precisely where his most touching power lies. Taehyung doesn't need to speak loudly to show who he is. His sincerity is enough to make the world stand up and pay respect. Now, ARMY are no longer just fans. They've become voices of defense, defending figures who are too often silenced by the system that supposedly was created to support them. The fans organized themselves. Not to attack, but to show that true love knows when to speak up. That loyalty shouldn't be one way. Behind all the big campaigns, there's a deep sense of disappointment. Fans feel they've given everything, time, attention, money, love, only to see their idols walk without any real protection from the place that should be protecting them. HYBE remains silent. Whether it's out of strategy, or because they don't know what to say, in a constantly evolving digital world, silence has become the loudest response. Comment after comment flooded HYBE's official account. The message was uniform: questions, criticism, and the hope that Taehyung would no longer be a victim of a failed communication system. Several other musicians who knew Taehyung began to show silent solidarity. They didn't name names, but the gestures and messages they shared on social media felt like indirect forms of support. ARMY saw Taehyung's silence not because he lacked a voice, but because he chose not to respond to hatred with noise. And because of that, fans felt they had to speak up for him. They didn't want Taehyung to continue being a symbol of lonely calm. They wanted him to know that he was loved, heard, and that his courage not to fight back was a tremendous strength. Across the globe, fan communities printed large banners, distributed flyers, and voiced a simple message: Taehyung deserved protection, not neglect. This issue served as a reminder that celebrities are human too. That behind the stage, there are hearts that can be weary, minds that can be fragile. And no matter how strong the image is, they still need shelter. HYBE could choose to remain silent. But if they continue to refuse to speak, the public will draw its own conclusions. And sadly, in many cases, those conclusions rarely favor those who turn a blind eye. Meanwhile, Taehyung keeps going. He doesn't falter, he doesn't complain. But many hope that, behind his smile and warm voice, he knows that millions of people are fighting so he doesn't have to feel alone anymore. Many hope this is a moment. A moment for companies to realize that success isn't just about charts and numbers, but also about how they take care of the people behind them. ARMY won't stop. They won't back down until their voices are heard, until the system begins to change, and until Taehyung, or any other artist, no longer has to carry it all alone. Because for them, true love isn't just cheering at concerts. It's also there when the roar of the stage dims, when the lights go down, and when one figure stands alone in the dark. And if HYBE is truly listening, now is the time to prove they care. Because if not now, when? And if not them, who? Taehyung will probably never say directly how he feels when no one stands up for him. But the public could read through his gaze, through the way he remained standing amidst the onslaught of strong winds. While everyone focused on achievements and numbers, Taehyung brought something even rarer, authenticity. And now, that authenticity was being hurt by the silence of the institution that should have been his first line of defense. Many fans were disgusted. They wondered, how could such a significant figure like Taehyung, who always maintained the image of the group and agency, be left alone when under such relentless attack? This act of love turned into resistance was not without reason. ARMY had held unanswered questions for too long, too often seeing their idol smile when he should have been crying and being hugged. Now, the world waited to see whether HYBE would choose to remain silent in their comfort, or finally take action to show they still cared. For ARMY, time was limitless, because as long as Taehyung remained standing, they would always stand by his side. Behind the scenes, fans continued to hatch larger collective plans. They didn't just want to be heard, they wanted to be acknowledged. They want the industry to know that their loyalty isn't exploited, but valued. Several international fanbase organizations have begun working together, not just to voice criticism, but also to build real support for artists' mental health. They are raising donations, disseminating information, and initiating educational campaigns so that artists' voices are no longer drowned out by public image. The spotlight isn't just on the injustices against Taehyung, but on a system that too often sacrifices sincerity for brand stability. Fans are now more aware. They love the human being behind the scenes, not the company that sells smiles but ignores the pain. Taehyung didn't ask to be saved. But his determination, which he continues to demonstrate without complaint, has ignited the passion of millions to save something greater, humanity in an industry that has long lacked empathy. And when history records this moment, the public won't remember those who were mostly silent. They will remember those who stood up, those who spoke out, and those who loved unconditionally, just as Taehyung has done for the world. Days pass, but HYBE still chooses to keep the situation quiet. They continued with their promotional agendas, scheduling releases, as if the storm of emotions raging in their fans' hearts were just a small ripple that could be forgotten. But ARMY is not a community that easily forgets. They love with a deep sense of awareness. They remember how Taehyung was always there, when other members released music, when the company needed a calm face amidst a crisis. Now, when Taehyung needed a voice, not a single company representative spoke up. There was no affirmation, no outspoken sympathy, not even a symbolic gesture to show that he wasn't truly alone. What's even sadder is that this wasn't the first time. When silence becomes a strategy, what's sacrificed is a sense of security. Taehyung shouldn't have to build a shield of his own just to defend against baseless, sharp comments. But even from that, Taehyung's resilience was clearly visible. He didn't become angry, nor did he become sarcastic. He simply remained present, remained inspiring, and continued to offer a sincerity that made fans feel like they needed to speak up when he was silent. The entertainment world can be a tough place, but Taehyung's approach offers hope that there's still room for sincerity. He doesn't respond with sensationalism, doesn't fight back with controversy, he perseveres with elegance. For ARMY, seeing him remain kind even when hurt is even more painful. They know the enormous burden he must bear, and they will not allow such immense love to continue unprotected. This wave isn't just about one artist. It represents a larger issue, how companies should be held accountable for the artists they raise and make proud to the world. Taehyung is living proof that someone can become great without creating chaos. But the company's silence in situations like this is slowly eroding the trust built by their own artists' dedication.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You